Fuck you, Joe.
And the red light's on, and we're good. What's up, Joe?
I wanted to say the first thing, so hopefully they caught that.
The Ravens should have beaten the Bills.
Anyway, it's like 5, 6 degrees outside. Um,
Lovely
sun's out
sun over
though.
there.
Sun's out. It's like an ornament on a Christmas tree doing absolutely fucking nothing.
At least you got that going for you.
Yeah. That and frostbite.
Hey, you don't need those toes anyway.
Toes, fingers, tips, nips, belly button.
Yeah. All useless extra parts.
All useless. Who needs a belly button?
Yeah. So, divisional round. For the most part, it did not go the way. Yeah, about 50-50 went the way we thought or hoped.
Yeah, we split. I think we both picked the Lions.
Yeah.
And, whoops. Or the Lions should be whoops.
Yeah, I was as much as I wanted to see Washington to continue doing what they're doing. I was surprised that they beat Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the injuries finally caught up to them where Washington had enough firepower to keep up and then take it away. I mean, what swung that game was the pick six, and Washington never looked back. They just kept pouring it on. I mean, that's what you got to do to a team like the Lions. You can't. If they would have let off the gas, it probably would be a different story. Thinking like, oh, we got this in the bag, and no, you don't. So congrats to Washington for keeping the pedal to the metal, if you will, in beating Detroit and going to a conference championship, which they haven't been to in over 30 years. Fun fact: the longest drought to ever to be in an NFC championship
I just put my tongue.
belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. They now own the longest drought for being for not going to an NFC championship.
Yeah, and that is always a good thing to hear about.
It is,
And still, the legend continues.
And Jessica Simpson.
They can blame Jessica Simpson.
So that was like, I think the big upset was that out of the four games was definitely Washington moving on. So congrats to them. They're a young team. I didn't expect it. I don't think no one expected it. And this team has a real shot.
Yeah, with all the craziness going on in Washington, the Commanders going to the championship series, conference championship. It's probably the least surprising thing going on right now.
Yeah.
The other Saturday game, Texas is Kansas City. I know we both took a long shot and picked the Houston, but Kansas being Kansas.
The refs being the refs too, and giving a lot of calls right to the Chiefs. Didn't help anything, but neither here or there. Chiefs did win, so I don't really have much more to say about that game. Is a lot of calls went the Chiefs' way, and a lot of people saw it, and no one, and obviously Chiefs fans aren't acknowledging it.
I mean, would any fans or any team acknowledge it, regardless of who it was?
Well, it
nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, it went our way, but it was wrong." No, most teams and fans are gonna be like, "Hey, we'll take it."
Oh, yeah, Chiefs went on, so maybe Taylor Swift can fall down the stairs at Arrowhead next week.
Sunday games. The one game we did split. Rams at Philadelphia.
The Rams,
Another
yeah,
close game, 28-22.
the Rams almost did it. They put themselves in a position to where they almost blew it, got the ball back, drove down the field, scored. Got the ball back again, and it was fourth down and a missed opportunity. So, you know, the Eagles defense held down that team. I mean, it was a snow game. I don't know if you watched it, but it was definitely some snow on the field. Saquon had a game, over 200 yards rushing and 2 TDs.
And Philadelphia, you are welcome because you would not be in the position you're in if the Giants didn't give you Saquon. So you're welcome.
So, congrats to Saquon.
He wish he did that with the Giants, but the Giants don't forget him.
That's enough out of the peanut gallery over there.
It's so cold we didn't send our kids to school. And they may cancel school tomorrow because how cold it is.
Hell, back in my day, you used to walk to school uphill both ways in that weather. No shoes on.
Wait, you could walk?
Yeah. How far is school? A couple blocks? Mile tops?
Yeah. Or, 10.
Build character.
Last
Second,
time.
spam fucking phone calls. Ravens, Bills.
That game was messed up. Don't even talk about that.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
That was the game we both picked the Bills on. And it was going Bills' way. Ravens tightened up in the second half, only allowed the Bills to score 6 points. Now, granted, Bills never relinquished the lead, but they did almost have the Ravens tied up if it wasn't for a Mark Andrews drop on a 2-point conversion. Also, that Ravens team had 2 costly fumbles and a pick, which obviously the Bills all recovered. The Ravens outgained the Bills yardage wise, and they still couldn't get it done. I would hate to be Mark Andrews right now because I can only imagine what his X feed is looking like.
It's Twitter. It's still Twitter.
As far as if he's getting death threats. I remember some players blowing the game, they'd get death threats, and but the Bills move on. So now we got an AFC Championship match between Bills and Chiefs. Kane is a newly hey. It's Emily and the girls. Sitter's here. Oh,
Excuse me.
did you taste that?
Hey, Dad, you want to tell Reggie what I've been doing to you in Meriden?
Hey, that's the podcast, buddy.
Yeah, but you should still.
Tell me. I want to hear it. So it's not just about NFL, but it's also a slice of life.
I don't know what's been going on. Normally, I dominate Caden and Madden, and this little dude I don't know if he legit did something to the game or not, but I'm having a hell of a time to score a point against him. And it's not like, oh, he's beating me like 7-0. No, it's like 56-0 before I even score a point. And I'm like, 2 weeks ago, it was me blowing him out of the water. And I'm like, you don't get that good in 2 weeks. Like, there was no music montage of someone like, it's not like Rocky with a 2-minute music thing where he's running the stairs. Yeah. That didn't happen with him.
You know what? something clicked, and now he's whooping up on his daddy.
And I got Tyreek Hill off the Dolphins
Okay.
on the Ravens now.
All right. Go away, you walking turd.
Oh, be nice to Arcade in. I want to hear more about how he's whooping up on his dad.
Be nice to Caden. I want to shove him in the microwave.
It's funny because I want to shove you in a microwave. Cover you in tinfoil. Give you a fork to chew on.
Why don't I just hold some rubbing alcohol too?
You know what? And wait for the pop.
Please no.
Anyway, just Mark Andrews felt bad enough. He saw it in his face that he dropped that pass. He also had a costly. He also fumbled, which that guy's only fumbled 3 times, and I believe the stat was that was his first fumble lost in his career. So,
Hell of a place to do it.
well, yeah. Hey, your wife just accepted my follow request on Instagram.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Must be bored at work.
How convenient it happens during the podcast. But nothing against Mark Andrews. He's still a very reliable tight end. The conditions of Buffalo are not friendly, to say the least. It was cold. It was snowing a little bit, sleeting, whatever you want to call it. Definitely snow. It was cold.
The coldest game in Lamar Jackson's career.
And that ball, you played football. That ball can get slick real quick.
And
And if it gets
hard,
slick, it's like
too.
a bar, and it's like a bar of soap.
Yeah, not only is it slick, but in that kind of cold, it's friggin' hard. And your hands are frozen. You try to catch anything, you try to hold anything. Your hands don't want to work. Your fingers are useless.
Yeah. That was Lamar Jackson. Actually, Kane brought up a good point. That was his coldest game he's ever played it. And he didn't let the cold really affect him. He played well. I mean, he had a fumble, and a pick, and the pick was early. And I think that was just the ball got away from him a little bit.
5 yards ahead of the receiver.
I think the receiver and the quarterback weren't on the same page. Ball went sailing. Get completed to a Bills player. No. But
Hey.
Game. What was the score? 27-25.
Yeah, it was one field goal away. We're looking at a different game.
Right, and then the Bills, because mind you, when that 2-point conversion they didn't convert, there was still time on the clock. Bills recovered the kick, and all they had to do was pick up one first. And what did they do? Picked up one. They picked up that one first down, made the Ravens use that last timeout, and then they nailed the victory. So the Bills are, we'll probably get into it when we talk about the championship matchups. But this team is different. I don't know if I know you've been following, like the NFL as a whole. But I've been paying extra close attention to the Bills, and they're getting a lot. They got rid of their diva superstar, Stephon Diggs, and they got better.
Yeah, and sometimes that, a lot of times that happens. It's like you don't want to get rid of your superstar because that brings attention to the team, but sometimes it's not always good attention.
No, right.
And we saw that with Odell.
Odell, you've seen it with Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
When the Eagles released him, and then Dallas wound up releasing him, and no matter where he went, it's the drama followed, right?
Yeah, the TO show.
TO show.
And you always want to be able to have the best players, but if you ever watched Miracle, Herb Brooks says I don't want the best players. I want the right ones. It's not always about having the best players because sometimes the best players don't work together. And as much as I didn't want to see Odell go, I kind of had to.
No, it was shocking though that when they did trade him away, Giants signed that big contract. He got paid, and then he had him 1 year. Now, if they didn't trade him away, what could have been having Saquon and Odell for a second season together? The young quarterback who has weapons on the running game and in the passing game would have been different for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that again, like I said, so what could have been a what if situation, but how much worse would it have been too?
Right. I mean, you got to look at both sides, right? I mean, could have been worse. But such is life.
Yes, such is life. But to wrap up this week, did you watch the national championship?
I saw highlights. Congrats to Ohio State.
No, do not give them congratulations. Notre Dame failed to show up to a second national title and win.
Well, they didn't. I don't. They showed up the first. When they went to the national title a few years back, they didn't show up against Alabama and they lost 44-7. At least they kept it within. They had a chance to tie it up, and they didn't convert. And then Ohio killed it. It was like 31 to what 23.
34-23. 2 possessions. 34-23.
So, still, that's they had a better showing. I thought that Ohio State was going to take it right away from them, and just annihilate them. So, but yeah, congrats to Ohio State.
Breaking my heart every damn time.
So next week, AFC Championship or Championship Sunday, I should say. The first game on the slate is the NFC Championship.
Washington versus Philadelphia.
Last time these teams met, Washington pulled out the victory with like little time on the clock left with the go-ahead score. So, I think this team has enough firepower to keep up with the Philly offense. If Philly decides to open it up a little bit, it's just getting past that Philly defense, and they did it before. So, I'm gonna go with Washington on this. I'll go 34-31. Washington.
Yeah, I agree. I've stuck to the Washington train all season for the most part. They went up against some bigger teams that I thought that they were going to lose out on, but them being where they're at right now, I'm all in on the Washington football team, Commanders, and they got to keep this train going. Got to keep on rolling, baby.
That's that's my for NFC. I think it'll be Nacho. Really?
Yeah.
My Chihuahua. What, buddy?
Figured out how to save your depth.
Oh, yeah, I know how to also.
I just did it.
Okay. Thank you.
Good job, bud.
Yep. Make good choices.
Don't do drugs.
Stay in school.
Speaking of doing drugs, Bills versus Kansas City.
Bills.
Lay down. Dad, I'm gonna continue this game.
Yeah, I'm going Bills too.
This is the reason why. I mean, I understand the Bills did give the Chiefs the first loss, but it took the Bills to get 30 points, obviously, because the Chiefs have still yet to score 30 points. I'm not saying they're not able to. They just haven't done it all season. So that tells me their offense is not as potent as it was.
That and people,
Sorry if
that
I'm
and you're good. That and people probably caught on. Well, teams might have also figured out Kansas City.
their
You know.
defense is stout, but the Bills proved back in Week 9 that they didn't stop them. Josh Allen put that team on the shoulders, and you saw him on a 4th and 2 run at 27 yards to a touchdown or something. He ran through a couple Chiefs players to do it. So, I mean, yes, they're in Arrowhead, and I don't think that's going to matter. I think, because if it's going to be cold, okay, Bills are used to that. It's going to be loud because the Chiefs fans, okay. But the Bills just got to stick to what they know, what they do, play complementary football, and take what that defense gives you, because it's not going to be a whole lot.
Yeah, you got it. You got to go. And Bills are a good team. I know they know this. They got to take build on opportunities.
Yep.
They see that one little misstep. They got to go for it.
And I'm not saying the Bills don't take shots down the field, but they're going to have to come out of the gate swinging on them. The best way to get to a defense that's that strong is to shock them. Saying, okay, the Chiefs got a really stout defense. All right, we're gonna take it to you, and we're gonna keep doing it until you adjust.
Yeah, you can't play it safe. You got to shove it down their throat sometimes, and it's got to know
And the gag.
Yeah, when to come up for air. Because if anything, Kansas City is showing that it has a gag reflex now.
Yep.
And little prop bet going into this game. How many times are they going to show Taylor Swift during the game? Over or under 5?
Over. Not that it matters. I hope that one of them's one that she's like falling down the stairs or something, or she gets her head slammed through the glass.
Oh, God.
Then she has real reasons for teardrops on her guitar. No, I still think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be another classic.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be tight.
Like a tiger.
Like a tiger.
All right. I got a couple of my employees texting me from work, so I'm gonna have to cut it a little short.
All right, no problem. Go do your boss thing.
Yep. All right. We'll talk
talk next
next week.
And see where we go and get ready for Super Bowl 2025.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, bud. It's always a pleasure, and I always thank you for coming here. I appreciate Caden's insight. Gonna be your little John Madden.
Someday.
Excuse me. All right.
Have a good one.
You too, bud. Stay warm out there.
Yep. Thank you.